Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making a stake anvil workbench. I need me a stake anvil workbench to make some good armoring tools and to properly mount them onto something. I'd like to use just my workbench in my garage, but it's a little too flimsy and thin, and it's not going to hold up to the beating I'm going to give it. So I sketched up a couple ideas on what I can do. Log back here at the bottom of this. How am I going to make this? Now I have some steel out here that I'm going to be using to weld up a nice frame, and I'm going to be bolting that to the log. There's a lot of different things that you can do. There's many things you should consider when making a bench. Most of the things that you should definitely consider is height, and I'm not super tall. I'm like 5'9", so I'm going to want the bench somewhere around, waist height. Maybe a little taller because it's for armoring. For most other anvils, like the one I have back there, you're going to want it just around where your hand is, like around there, so you can get the most amount of force for swings. Now I already have my steel cut out, all I'd have to do is weld it. So I'll show you that process. Now let's take an actual look at what we're working with here. So this is a log that I cut up from some freak's house. I don't know, like, it was just a log that was there, and I kind of took it because they're a freak, but that's beside the point. This is an oak log here. I'm not sure what kind of oak. Originally I thought it was white oak, but it looks too dark in the inside to be white oak. I'm sure someone out there could definitely tell what it is, but this thing weighs roughly somewhere around like 150 pounds more or less. Very heavy, very difficult to get out of the car when I grabbed it. Now let's flip it around. Ugh. Now honestly, this isn't a bad piece. I got some nice room to work with here. The only issue is I couldn't have cut any straighter, and I got some unevenness here that could have definitely been worked out. Especially this part right here, that's going to be annoying to flatten out. But I have a plane, an electric plane, that hopefully I'll be able to buff that out. But other than that, I guess what I'll first start doing is make the actual steel frame itself. I don't actually plan on having a steel bar run across, more of like just two legs, and then this be the table. Doesn't seem like too bad of a plan for me. Now if you're doing this yourself with a log like this, this is a rather big one. This is plenty of room for me. And originally I had planned to get two halves of the log and put them together, but I think that's just a little too much what I'm thinking. So I guess with our plan scaped out, I think we should get started. Kind of a chubby little guy. Came up to us, wanted to say hi. Alright, I have some steel here, and basically what I'm going to do is have these cut in and then weld them like so. Well, something like this. Cut it and weld it to something like this. Now I'm going to cut the corners off and get them to a nice flush cut. Now for the long part, I did change my mind. I did want some support on the bottom. Just because that'll make it significantly easier to prop up. So I'll weld something like this. I don't need the whole length here, so I'll cut it to size when we're ready for that part. But for now, what we're going to do is just cut. Got my legs all welded up. Now let's see what we can do with the log. Alright, we got the bench all ready, and I cut the rod to size. Now let's weld it up. Took a little bit, but I think I did a good job. And support my weight. Considering the log is almost weighs as much as me, that's a good thing. Alright, let me go grab that log. Rain came out of nowhere. At least it makes the welding here look a little more cinematic or something. Power went out. I'm gonna go reset it. I think the thunder might have gotten to it. Well, guess I'll just have to wait the storm out for a little. So we're finally back online. Just had to wait a little bit. These bolts should hold pretty dang well. Shit. Okay. I got it. So I guess while it's mounted like this, we might as well do one of the hard parts right now, which is planing this flat. I have an electric plane, but I feel that still is going to take a while. So, I'm going to knock off as much loose chunks like this off of like a hammer or a crowbar. I have a crowbar around here somewhere. Be right back. Gonna switch up a YouTube video to see how this thing works so I don't cut my fingers off. So after a little bit of practice, I somewhat know what I'm doing. Still a bit rusty, some good parts here that are nice and smooth. But because this thing is so uneven, I have a few gouges here that don't look so good. But honestly, this thing isn't really much about beauty. It's a block cut in half. So I guess we'll just go with it. It doesn't look that bad, honestly. Half an hour later, doesn't look that bad, honestly. Could use, a lot more leveling. It's still a little bit curved, but we are getting there. We're getting there.
So, a lot of work here. It took about like an hour and a half of planing. It's still not even completely flat yet. This side right here kind of goes down into a curve, but I think for what I'm going to use it for, that will do just fine. I'm not complaining. It looks beautiful. We got some good wood here. All right. Oh my God. I'm going to take you on a little tour here. Absolutely covered in dust. This is a mountain. Just everything is covered in dust. I wasn't even aiming over here, but everything is covered in dust. That is going to be fun to clean up. At least I put a tarp on this and on the car. So I'll be back in another hour when I'm done cleaning all this shit.
Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. I really like the grain on this. Looks really nice. Now, of course, not the straightest. However, it'll still work for the thing I'm using it for. If I had a sawmill, I could just and then it'd be really flat and instant. However, I don't own $1,000 sawmill, and this is really the best I could do. But that's really most of my projects. I mean, if I can do it, I'm sure you can. Nice. So, the next step that we're going to do is I did mount some like teeth onto here. Those aren't permanent, but basically I'm going to measure out how much of this I need to cut so that this is flush with the bottom here. So I think I don't need to cut very much on this side. Actually, I'm going to need to cut quite a bit on this side, but much less on the other. This side's a lot more thicker, as you can definitely see the curve right there. So, a little progress report. I cut some wedges on the sides of this here. Thought that was going to be enough, but there's still quite a bit of curve right here, and that's hitting right against the spine of the frame here, because then I feel like the bench isn't going to have enough weight. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plane this a little more flat, so I don't have to remove as much wood, and I can maintain that heavy weight for this bench. Well, very sturdy now. Still had to weld this little extra piece here, and same goes on this side, but it's pretty level actually. Not the smoothest, and I did get it a little bit dirty, so I'll just give it a quick sand and should be done. And that's pretty much it. All I have to do now is bolt it to the actual frame, and then I'm done. So this is a pretty good bench I got here. Very sturdy, very little wobble, that can be adjusted. Still movable because I actually haven't bolted it down yet, but that is a solid workbench. It's not pretty by any means at all. There's still a lot that could go on. Very dirty, very quick. This only took me, what, 2 days to make? Still, looks real nice. I like it. It'll be very useful for making armor, which you'll see in my next video. I will be making some, actually I can't spoil that just yet, but I like the way it looks. Feels nice, very rustic, and yeah. I'll be making tools for this actually, so I'll drill some holes into the center of it, but for now it can be used as just a bench. Thank you so much for watching. This took a lot of effort, despite how short it took, the short time it took me to make it. Cutting the log in half and then planing it and actually welding up the frame. I had quite a few issues making everything. I'm no expert in welding or woodwork, as you can definitely see. There's still a lot left to be desired. It's been a while. Everything was against me. But I think it turned out all right. And I'm very excited for the future of armor making in this channel. So I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you for watching. Yeah, see you around.